Welcome back to Scream House, where every chapter brings you closer to something you can't escape. This is part 5. By now, the truth should be clear. The danger was never out there. It was always closer than you thought. What you're about to hear changes everything that came before it. Turn down the lights, stay focused, and if you want to see how this story ends, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the final chapters. I thought about that event and others, and in a simple yet strange way, I was slightly uplifted from my forlorn emotions. Maybe there was a light at the end of the tunnel, as my 5th grade teacher used to say, and inside me, there were traces of the beginnings of some diminutive inspiration forming within me. Come on, Abe, we can do this. We got to do this. Let's shake this, buddy. We're going to be all right. Just like that night you and the Crashers caught Timmel and Carson. Watch and see, I said to myself, mumbling my words. I felt like a man who was trapped inside a 10-foot deep pit, and somehow a rope was slung down just enough where I could reach it. Now all I had to do after waiting and praying so long to be rescued was to rise from the depths of the pit, grasp the strong rope, and climb my way out. So, with that in mind, I got up from where I was sitting and shook off the sand from my butt and legs. My knees were tight and sore as I walked back towards my parents. I looked down at my watch, and an hour and a half had fallen from time. I guess I didn't know how long I was sitting there, I thought, as I walked off the soreness. "Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad," I said as I sat next to them. My mother placed her arm around my neck and pecked the left side of my face. She was sitting between my father's legs. "How's it hanging, son? You, okay?" Dad asked as he brushed his hand over my head. "Yeah, Dad. I'm okay. Thanks for bringing us out here. I really like this." "Good, Abe. Good," Dad responded. For a little while, we didn't say much at all. We just sat there and enjoyed the beach balls rolling across our path, the smaller kids chasing one another, the BBQs, the music from radios, and umbrellas with people lying underneath them, soaking up the valley sun. The feeling of release was in the air, and I must say I enjoyed it, even if it was only for just a little while. We stayed at the lake for a bit longer, conversing and enjoying each other's company. Yet, before long, it was time to go. We gathered our belongings, packed the car, and headed home. I really wanted to stay a little longer, but we, or should I say Dad, to be more specific, were hungry. "How does eating out sound, dear? Give you a bit of a break from cooking for one night," Dad said. "That's sweet, dear. But what are you in the mood for? Chicken, burgers, pizza, maybe?" Mom said. I'm not sure. What is your stomach saying, son?" Dad asked. Food decisions were at times in my family a very complicated matter. See, let me break down what's really going on here. Mom hated greasy foods. She was more of a Subway or Port of Subs sort of gal, while Dad, on the other hand, was the greasier the better kind of guy. Dad really hated healthy food, so he figured if I said pizza, burgers, or something like that, then Mom couldn't be upset with him. And if she ate it and didn't enjoy it, then he'd just say, "Don't be mad with me, sweetie. After all, Abe wanted this meat lover's pizza with extra sauce, or this double bacon cheeseburger with large fries." I could tell by the way he asked me. I could see his facial expression. His eyes were glaring at me through the rearview mirror. We didn't need words. I could tell what they were saying. "Please, son, do me a solid on this one. There'll be a little something extra in your allowance." So you see, Dad didn't really want to know what I wanted. What Mr. David Gilmore wanted was a bailout. But don't worry, Dad. I've got your back. So yeah, Dad, I got a craving for a double cheeseburger from In-N-Out Burger. Think you can make that happen? I answered jokingly. "Can I make that happen? You just sit back and watch your old man make that happen," Dad replied, heart filled with the joy from the mere thought of his hunger just a few miles away from being completely satisfied. For a slim man, he sure could throw some food down, I thought as I looked out the window at the huge mountains and fields upon fields of desert. After a belly-bursting dinner and a short stop at the local ice cream shop, My family and I finally made our way back home. And once we turned onto our street, I saw something, or someone I should say, I truly wasn't ready to see. Melissa. She was shooting hoops as usual. As we got closer, my heart pounded harder and harder, making my chest feel like church drums on Sunday morning. I couldn't honestly say for sure, but I was pretty sure she ran into her house on account of seeing me get out of the car. I tried to tell myself that it was because it was getting late and that the sun was going down, so perhaps she couldn't see where the basket was so well. I even fed that line to my parents when they asked why she didn't stay outside to talk. Yet deep inside, I knew she ran as soon as she saw me because she hated me. Besides, it was only 5, and the sun was still up for another hour and a half at least. My mother went straight to her room and shut the door behind her. One thing about my mom, she hated not showering if she'd been outside for more than an hour or so. She told me that she'd been that way since my age. Dad, on the other hand, headed straight for the backyard. "Weed pulling time," Dad said as he grabbed the weed killer with lawn protection. "Kills weeds but keeps grass green," or so the bottle boasted. I was in no mood for lawn work or a shower. The only thing I cared about was Melissa and trying to figure out a way to make her stop being so bitter with me. Then that's when it hit me. Call her. I paced back and forth for about 10 minutes, contemplating what to say. "Just say hello, dork," I said to myself. The worst she could do is hang up. If Tomboy Sandy were here, she would have punched me in the arm and called me a wuss. Okay, I'm going to go for it, I thought, as I grabbed for the telephone on top of my dresser. I picked up the phone and even dialed her number, but then I got nervous and hung up before the first ring. "What are you doing, Abe? Come on, nerves of steel. You can do this," I repeated in my head 2 or 3 times over. I then reached again, thinking it was now or never. My hand got closer and closer, and as I turned it to my face to dial out, the darn thing rung. Ring, ring, ring. "Hello," I answered. "Hey buddy, this is Uncle Chase. What's going on?" the voice on the other line said. "Chase? Uncle Chase? Is it really you?" I yelled in excitement. "Yeah, partner, I'm on my way down. Should be there in a few. Didn't your dad tell you?" "No, he didn't," I answered. "So, you're really coming? Cool, I can't wait," I said, elated. "Let me speak to that brother of mine, huh?" "See you in a bit," Uncle Chase requested as I opened the sliding door and called for Dad to get the phone. Oh boy. Uncle Chase is coming, yes. Uncle Chase was a traveling musician and my dad's younger brother. He traveled from town to town with his band, playing original and covered songs. Dad said Uncle Chase didn't make enough to be rich and famous. According to Mom, he really didn't make enough to take care of himself, let alone a family. I can remember a few years ago, Christmas Eve to be exact. I remember that vividly because that was the year I didn't get a certain electric remote train track, even though I wrote Santa a gazillion letters. Mom and Dad got into a big fuss over Uncle Chase and his career choice. Dad said that it was Uncle Chase's life and that once he matured, he would get his act together and get a real job. But Mom said time was ticking and that if he hadn't matured now, he never would. After a few back and forth disputes, Mom noticed that Dad wasn't budging on his stand, not to mention he was starting to get a little upset. So, she apologized and ended her case by saying she was only looking out for Uncle Chase's well-being. Yet on that cold, 38-degree night in December in the living room where Mom and Dad stood in an opinionated standoff, the bare-knuckle truth that my mother was holding back from my father was the fact that she was tired of giving Uncle Chase money whenever he was in between gigs, as he would say. Though she knew it would really hurt my father not to be there for his younger brother, she chose to hold her peace instead of making my dad withdraw his helping hand from my uncle. Yet, from what I heard on the phone a few moments ago, Uncle Chase sounded like his spirits were pretty high. Dad had come inside after speaking on the phone, and as he slid the backsliding door closed, I asked him how long Uncle Chase was staying for. "From what he said, it's only going to be for the night," Dad answered. "He has a big gig lined up in Arizona, and he thought he'd stop by and see his favorite nephew, plus he'll get a little rest instead of driving straight through from California." "So, head upstairs and get washed up," Dad finished. As I rushed through getting washed and dressed for Uncle Chase, I couldn't help but think of what he'd have for me, seeing as how Uncle Chase never stops by without bringing his favorite nephew something. An hour and a half had come and gone when the doorbell rang. I was sitting up in my bed thinking of Melissa and how I could make it right with her when I heard it. So, I rushed down the steps as Dad was opening the front door. "Chase!" my dad yelled in excitement. "Big bro!" Uncle Chase replied, matching my dad's elated announcement. "Hey, sweetie, come see who's here," Dad called to Mom. "Uncle Chase, you made it!" I called as I ran towards my uncle, wrapping my arms around his torso, and he was doing the same in return. "How's it hanging, little man?" he said, looking me up and down. "Geez, you've grown so tall. It hasn't been that long since I last saw you, has it?" Uncle Chase asked as he stood in the doorway, setting down his suitcase. Uncle Chase was a tall, lanky man with sandy brown hair. His cheekbones were somewhat sunken, which always made me think of him eating a lemon that was too sour. He always wore the best cologne. My dad said that he wore it because it reminded him of my grandfather, but my mom said he wore it to attract women. Either way, I thought it was cool, as the kids say at Henderson Middle School. Once Mom came down from her room, she and Uncle Chase embraced one another and sat in the family room. I joined them. I let them talk about all the things that grown-ups talk about to catch up with one another. "So, what's up with the gig in Arizona? How'd you land that one, bro?" Dad asked. "Well, it's funny actually. I'm dating this girl from Flagstaff, Jennifer. Her name is Jennifer. She tells me that a cousin of hers happens to be part owner of a well-to-do nightclub out in Arizona, and after she played a piece of our music, her cousin fell in love and invited the band out to play, and the rest is history. Small world, huh?" "Well, I'm happy for you, Chase," Mom said as she smiled with her arms around Dad's neck. "But I noticed you said new girlfriend, Jennifer. Yet what happened to Patricia?" "I like that one," Mom added, picking at Uncle Chase. "To be honest, sis, I feel something special with this one. That's another reason why I wanted to stop by. I want to share some good news with you guys," my uncle said as he stood to his feet. "I'm not taking this job in Arizona for a few weekends to make a couple bucks here and there. Jennifer's cousin said that if the crowd's like us, then he'll give me a permanent gig, and I'll need it, seeing as how I'm going to be settling down and starting a family of my own," Uncle Chase announced. "What did you say?" Dad said. "Yes, sir. I asked Jennifer to marry me, and she said yes," Uncle Chase said as he bubbled over with cheer and gladness. "Wow, I truly don't know what to say. I'm just so happy for you," Mom said, wiping away tears from her eyes. This was big, real big. No one this side of sanity thought my Uncle Chase would ever, and I mean ever, get married, let alone talk about starting a family. He was always the type of guy who got bored with a girl after 2 months, and now he wants to marry one. This is insane, I thought. Yet at the same time, Uncle Chase was the sort of guy you couldn't feel anything but happy for. He was so loving and compassionate that any girl would be lucky to spend the rest of their life with him. I can't believe this is happening, and yet in the back of my mind I knew this day was coming. I knew it. I knew it. My baby brother is getting married, wow, Dad yelled as he leaned forward and grabbed my Uncle Chase's hand, who had recently sat down himself. "Thanks, bro. That really means a lot coming from you. I've always admired you, and you too, sis. Just how you two have always stuck it out together through the good and bad times. I want to tell you two that you both have been a tremendous blessing in my life and a wonderful example of what a marriage should be. How you respect each other and how you've reared Abe. I love you both," Uncle Chase finished, tearing up as badly as my mother. By 7 that night, our family room had become a hugging feast. Even I got in on the love. "Come here, Abe. I want you to tell me all about Henderson, your new neighborhood, and this new junior high school that you're going to," Uncle Chase asked. "Well, Chase, I'm gonna let you and Abe get caught up while me and the missus make you a little something in the kitchen," Dad said as he and Mom left for the kitchen. "So, how about it? What's new?" Uncle asked. "Well, the neighborhood is bigger, but there isn't much happening. The school and kids are okay, I guess. But I can tell you one thing, this place is no Temecula," I said. "Yeah, you got that right, Abe, but don't forget what I told you. It's not the place that's fun, it's the person that makes the place fun. So, in other words, you're gonna have to liven this place up, huh?" Uncle Chase said, open-handed tapping my left shoulder. The one thing I really wanted to tell Uncle Chase, I knew I couldn't, and that was the Beast Boy. But how could I come out and say something so far-fetched? How do you even word something of that magnitude? No, I couldn't tell my uncle, but there was one area Uncle Chase was good at, and I knew he could and would be able to help me out. Uncle Chase, I do have something to tell you. I need some advice, sort of, I said timidly. Sure, kiddo, what is it? He replied. No, I can't tell you here. Let's go to my room, I said as I grabbed Uncle Chase by his arm and led him to my room. Whoa, slow down, kiddo. What's going on? He asked curiously. Okay, so here's the deal. You have to promise on all that's holy to keep your mouth shut, I told Uncle Chase. What is this about, Abe? Just tell me. Just promise, Unc, I demanded. Okay. I promise on all that's holy. Geez, Abe, he said. Okay, so, there's this girl, I started. Ooh, a girl. Ah, Uncle Chase interrupted. Yes, now listen, Unc. I really need help on this one. I didn't want to say anything in front of Mom and Dad because they read too much into stuff. But I know you can help me, I finished. Okay, I think I'm following you. Keep going, he requested. Okay, so her name is Melissa, and she attends the same school I go to. When I first moved here, she and I really got along well. She introduced me to all her friends and showed me around and everything. But just recently something went down, and she's kinda upset with me. I tried to tell Uncle Chase as much as possible without giving him the whole truth. I especially excluded the part about the beast. Well, let me see here. Where does this girl live? I mean, can you get something to her easily? He asked. Yes, across the street, I answered. Across the street, So it seems that she's of some interest to you, correct? He asked. Some interest, I thought, more like the most important major league type interest. Yeah, she is, Unc. Now, how do I get her to understand that I want to be friends again? I asked, almost pleading. Okay, kiddo, your old Uncle Chase is going to drop something heavy on you. Tell me if you can dig it. Have you ever written poetry before? Uncle Chase asked. Poetry, no, I don't think I have, but how's that going to help me with Melissa? I asked eagerly. Listen, son, and learn something from the old school love master himself. Now what you want to do is think of all the ways she makes you feel and write them down on a sheet of paper, he said. The way she makes me feel? What do you mean? I asked. You know, does she make your heart beat faster at just one glimpse of her? Does she make the world seem small in comparison to her? Or does she make that little bubbly feeling deep down in your belly whenever she's around you? Whoa, I thought. This guy is good. He must really be the old school love master. He described every emotion and feeling I get whenever I'm near or even think of Melissa. Yeah, Unc, she does, I answered, astonished, almost dazed at the heaviness my Uncle Chase was dropping on me. Cool. Now that we got that part out of the way, let's get into the types of poetry you can lay down on paper for this Melissa. You have the rhythmical poem, those are the ones that rhyme, you know, like ending every line with love dove above. Get it? Then you have the free verse poems, which are the ones that don't rhyme. I kind of like those better because you can really express yourself without boundaries. So, here's what I want you to do. You sit here all night for the next couple of nights, and you write one poem after another. Then you give her the one that you think she'll like best, and I guarantee that you'll be back in her good standings, and you two will be sharing mint chocolate ice cream from the same bowl in no time flat. Got it? He finished. Do you think that writing a poem will really work? I asked. Will it work? Of course, and whichever one you send to her, you make sure to send me a copy. Okay? Uncle Chase said as he stood up from the edge of my bed. Okay, Uncle, and thanks. I'll start on one right away, I said in excitement. You do that. Now I've got to get back in there before your mother thinks I skipped out on her cooking, Uncle Chase said jokingly, slapping the side of my bedroom wall before exiting my room. Poetry. Why didn't I think of this before? Yeah, hey, it just might work, I said to myself. Now, what did Uncle Chase call the one that I liked, the one that rhymes? Oh, yeah, rhythmical. I'm going to write Melissa a rhythmical poem, I said, as I grabbed a handful of paper out of my backpack and sat at the desk that my father placed in the corner of my room. When he brought it for me, he said that it was for me to do my homework right after school, but tonight, it was for writing a rhythmical poem to my lady love. Now let's see. Where do I begin? What do I say? I thought over and over again. An hour or so passed, and I was still sitting at the very same desk, with the very same very blank piece of paper before me. I had no idea what to write or how to express myself. I mean, yes, technically I knew how she made me feel inside. I just didn't know if I had the skill to articulate it in written form. It was past nightfall when my father walked into my room. "Hey, son, time for bed," he said. "Hey, what you got there anyway?" Dad asked, looking over my shoulder. I contemplated whether I should tell my dad the advice that Uncle Chase had given me. Then I thought, why not, seeing as how I never kept anything from him before. "Well, I'm trying to write a poem," I said. "A poem? Well, what are you writing a poem for, son?" he asked curiously. I asked Uncle Chase how to get a girl to stop being mad with me, and he said that a poem was a great way to do it, I responded. "Uncle Chase, huh? Melissa, right. I'm guessing it's for her," he said, as he sat slowly at the edge of my bed. "Yes, sir. It's for Melissa. She's upset with me over something that happened at school, and now she won't speak to me, and I really don't know what to do, Dad," I answered. "That is a tough one, kiddo. But do you think writing a poem will be the right way to fix this problem?" Dad asked. He was funny like that. He would always ask me questions that seemed like he already knew what my answer was going to be. "Yes, sir. I like the idea of a poem. I just don't know how to express myself. Listen, Abe, I might not be that lady killer that your Uncle Chase is, but I happen to know a thing or two about women, and the one thing they like is honesty. Now, I don't know what you plan on putting in that poem of yours, but whatever it is, be honest, and you won't go wrong," he said as he stood up. "Now, Mr. Casanova, I want you in bed soon. We've got church in the morning, okay?" Dad said, kissing me on the forehead before leaving. I thanked my dad before he left, then sat and turned towards my blank sheet of paper. I thought of what my uncle and father had both told me concerning poetry. One focused on expression and the other focused on honesty. Once I put the two together, before you knew it, my pen had started to jot down some pretty nice-sounding words. I wrote my first poem by 10:30. It was short, yet real and to the point. Her name is Melissa. Her name is Melissa, and she's a true friend indeed. Her name is Melissa, and in times of trouble, she is the refuge that I seek. Her name is Melissa, and whenever I'm lost, she's always there. Her name is Melissa, and when the world shuts me out, I know she cares. Her name is Melissa, and I trust her with my heart of hearts. Her name is Melissa, and I pray our friendship will never part." Was it a Shakespearean masterpiece? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it was mine, and it came from the heart. I also wrote another that wasn't so poetic, yet what I lacked in verbal dazzlement, I gained in straightforwardness. "I'm sorry, I was a kid without a friend in a town I didn't know, surrounded by frightening newness. I wanted to turn around and run till I drop, hide my face in the deepest parts of elsewhere. Then there was you, my rescuer, my shelter, my friend. You showed me that newness doesn't have to be perplexing. Our bond has grown strong and solid in such a short time. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you mean the world to me. I never meant to hurt you, and if I did, I'm sorry." Abe Gilmore. There you have it. Yet another non-masterpiece, but from the heart nonetheless. I sat back and looked at what I had written. I must have read them both at least a half dozen times apiece until I was so tired that I was beginning to nod off. So I took a rest from my literature and placed both poems inside a folder that was at the top of my closet. Once I was dressed in my night attire, I hugged all the adults in my home goodnight. My mother, first, was lying in her bed, reading her favorite novella, Cycle of the Werewolf, by her favorite author, Stephen King. Then my father, who was keeping my uncle company at the kitchen table, was catching up and no doubt lecturing him on his newly vowed decision to wed. And lastly, my uncle got an extra big hug since I didn't get to see him often. It wasn't long before I was in bed and fast asleep. It's funny, really. The whole day started with the Beast and Melissa in my mind, fighting over which I would worry over more. Yet the night ended with me not thinking very much about either. For some reason, sleep came easily to me that night. The morning had come, and I could hear my mother preparing my Uncle Chase a going-away lunch pack in the kitchen. I rushed out of bed and threw the morning wash-up. Uncle Chase, my mother, and my father were all in the living room by the time I was finished. I could hear Uncle Chase calling me as he was getting ready to take his leave and head back out to the open road. "Abe, I'm about to leave. Come hug your old Unc before I go," he shouted. I ran from my room, hoping not to cause Uncle Chase to be late, seeing as how I woke up a little later than everyone else, and I knew he said he wanted an early start to Arizona. "Okay, Unc, it was good seeing you," I said as we embraced. "You too, nephew, and remember what I told you. I want a copy, okay?" he said as he winked and knelt, picking his suitcase up from the floor, then turning for his car. "Bye, Chase, bye, Unc," my family and I shouted together, watching out the front door as Uncle Chase backed out of the driveway and honked twice before heading for his big gig and new wife in Arizona.